Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into an ancient story that has some, well, surprisingly modern lessons. It's a really simple tale about making decisions and, survival, but it has so much to teach us about how we face challenges in our own lives.
And it really all boils down to this. You've got three very different fishes living in a quiet pond. They all get the exact same heads up, a warning that danger is coming. But how each one of them decides to react, or, well, not react, that's what's going to seal their fate. So let's meet our three main characters, but try to think of them less as actual fish and more like, well, archetypes. You've got the wise fish, that's the planner. Then there's the careless fish, the one who just hopes problems go away. And finally, the clever fish, the master improviser. I bet we all know people who fit these descriptions. Heck, maybe you even see a bit of yourself in one of them.
Okay, so picture this, a totally peaceful pond. Everything is calm, it's routine, it's just another normal day. But that quiet calm, it gets completely shattered when our wise fish overhears a conversation. It's a couple of fishermen, and they're making plans to come back and cast their nets in this exact pond tomorrow.
And this is the moment where everything changes. For the wise fish, this isn't just some rumor or a far-off what-if. No, this is a clear, direct threat. This one piece of information becomes the catalyst, the trigger, that just screams for a response.
So let's dig into our first strategy here, the planner. This is the fish who thinks ahead, right? It connects the dots and really values being prepared. This approach is absolutely perfect for threats you can see coming, even if they're still way off in the distance.
And this right here, this quote just perfectly sums up the wise fish's whole philosophy. It gets that waiting for a problem to be knocking at your door is usually way too late. For the planner, the time to solve a predictable problem in the future is right now.
And look at this process, it's just crystal clear. There's zero hesitation. It hears the warning, it understands the risk is totally real, and it takes immediate, decisive action. It gets out of the pond and moves to a safer place long before those fishermen have even thought about grabbing their nets. Safety secured, all thanks to foresight.
All right, now for our second archetype, the improviser. This fish hears the very same warning, but its internal math is completely different. It makes the choice to wait. Now, it's really important to get this. This isn't necessarily about being lazy. The clever fish is confident, super confident in fact. It trusts its own ability to adapt, to figure out a solution right in the heat of the moment. It's a strategy of conserving energy until the absolute last second.
And you have to admit this is a serious, high-risk, high-reward play. It waits until the net is literally closing in on it, and then, with just incredible presence of mind, it plays dead. The fisherman, thinking it's no good, just toss it aside, and poof, it makes its escape. A super daring, last-minute win that comes from thinking on your feet. And that brings us to our third and final fish, the avoider. Its strategy is, well, the simplest of them all. And as we're about to see, it's also by far the most dangerous.
This right here, this is the voice of pure denial. The careless fish hears the warning, it understands it, but it just chooses to dismiss it. It relies on hope, on this idea that things will just sort of work themselves out, that this time won't be any different from all the other quiet days.
And that's exactly what it does. Nothing. There's no plan A, no plan B, no improvisation. Just a passive hope that the threat will magically vanish. It just goes about its day like that warning never even happened.
And when you see it laid out like this, the results are just stark. The planner, who acted early, escaped. The improviser, who acted late but acted decisively, also escaped. But the avoider, whose only action was inaction, it was caught. The connection between the strategy and the outcome is just undeniable.
So, what's the big lesson here? What do we take away from all this? Because this isn't just a story about fish, right? It's a really powerful framework for understanding how to tackle challenges and, more importantly, how to pick the right strategy for the right moment. The whole thing really comes down to this idea of timely action. Now, notice this. Both the first and the second fish were successful. One acted proactively, the other reactively. The key wasn't when they acted, it was that they acted. They each played to their strengths at the right moment to get themselves out of trouble.
So let's just break that down a bit. What we learn is that foresight is your best defense against problems you can see coming. We learn that improvisation and that presence of mind, those are incredibly powerful skills for dealing with a sudden crisis. And maybe the biggest lesson of all, when you know there's a threat, doing nothing is the biggest risk you can take.
And that really leaves us with this final thought. A challenge is always on its way. So when it gets here, the question isn't just which fish are you, but maybe which strategy does this specific moment call for? Will you be the planner or the improviser? The choice, and of course the outcome, is all yours.